done a lot of Masters of the Universe
Yeah.
stuff.
I thought I'd do He-Man to match my She-Ra, and then
Yeah, I guess that would be, because then you'd have those both to take to shows.
yeah.
So I'm sure there's a group that would be wanting a He-Man or a Man-at-Arms or something instead.
Yeah. Yeah. Whenever I'm at the shows, people ask me questions about who are you going to do next and which
Somebody's
She-Ra
like-
character they like most.
They're like, I want Ramhead.
Ram Man.
Is that one of the guys? Ram Man.
Yeah, Ram Man. No, I'm a fan of Ram Man. I would do. I would probably would like to see. Like I like some of the villains are more fun, right? Like the creepy bad guys.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like to do eventually
In all of them, or just in?
just a couple of the bad guys. You know, they're just fun. The thing is, there's other artists who've already kind of gone down that road.
Mhm.
You know, reinvented He-Man. So, I don't know. My favorite villains. You know, I've always liked Trapjaw and like the classics from the original show, right? And there's already been a couple of versions of that done. Beastman's always cool. Trapjaw. I think the one thing that's nice about doing the She-Ra stuff is not a lot of people have done She-Ra work, even though the quality of work on the one season of She-Ra was like twice as good as the Filmation stuff because they had more money.
Yeah.
And it's kind of an extension. There's a lot of characters that overlap. It's almost like He-Man season 3 or season 4. It's kind of how it played out. So, oh well, are we
Alright.
recording now or?
Yeah, sure.
All right, let's just I'm recording, so might as well just go from here. So, and Mark.
Hey.
So, why don't you go back to what you're saying, Owen, about the Star Wars standalone? I never heard there was going to be a Star Wars standalone.
Well, it could be completely. Like I could have made this up in my own fever dreams too, but
yeah,
there was talk that was going to be the way it goes. Is that they're going to make a trilogy, and they're also going to make standalone features that are
okay,
that are kind of like the X-Men Origins style, like just
okay,
this movie just stands by itself, and I think the writer of Book of Eli,
right,
he's writing one of them, but
Okay.
not one of the trilogy. So I think that's, and it's the director of Godzilla and Monsters.
huh?
So I think that they're doing a Boba Fett movie.
Well,
I could be
I mean,
completely wrong, but I think they're doing a.
that makes sense, though. I mean, everybody loves Boba Fett.
And
You know, I keep.
wouldn't you want to see like the seamy underbelly where it's all a bunch of these grody bounty hunters and criminals and and you basically make a dark James Bond
Mhm.
in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Star Wars
That-
universe.
Right there, I'm sold. What a good pitch line. It's Dark James Bond and Star Wars. Soon. Coming soon. Well, if you think about it, it'd be interesting to see how, like, we see him as a kid in episode 2, and how he goes from being this cloned child to, the most feared bounty hunter in the galaxy, right? I think that would be very interesting. And, I mean, a good story, and, they could have kids in it to satisfy that marketing niche and that sort of thing, right? He'll probably be an anti-hero, kind of, just like the Punisher sort of thing. Like, he's not necessarily. I mean, when you look at the Star Wars universe, whenever Boba Fett was, in the literature after, like all the books and things. What am I trying to say? The extended universe, is that the term?
Sure.
Anyways, expanded universe. He was always really, like, not quite evil, but just completely ruthless and without a conscience in a way, you know. But he still had honor and integrity. Like he wasn't someone that you didn't, you knew he was the bad guy, but you understood him. You didn't really hate him.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that would be interesting to see more about him. Because the fans will go nuts if they made a Boba Fett movie, for sure. I can't see how they wouldn't. Did you watch the trailer for the new episode?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah? What'd you think?
There's not a whole lot to go on, but yeah, it seemed very Star Warsy.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, it seems all right. And the I don't know, seemed very Star Warsy, and I like that it's the more dirty look to everything.
Yeah. Used universe.
Yeah, we've been watching. Have you been watching the Rebels cartoon?
No.
You seen that?
No.
No. Your kids would probably like it, and actually, you'd probably like it. It's very much more old style Star Wars, and you know, just like action adventure style, not kind of, I don't know, like glossy. It's not glossy at all.
Okay. Huh. Well, I tried getting Lily to watch just episode 4, I guess, the original Star Wars the other day, and I hadn't watched it in years, right? And I had to get her to watch it. I had to bribe her and be like, "No, it's Space Princess."
Yeah.
Because she's a girl, it's all about princesses. She's like, "Oh, okay, I'll watch Space Princess," and she was kind of into it for the first little bit, and then she said, "This is boring," and that was that. So it's too much. I don't know. Kids nowadays are different than we were, or it was just, you know, not fast paced enough.
I think there's an age for it.
Yeah.
Like, there's an age that it appeals to. Like, I think that something like Rebels would probably appeal more, and not because it's any different. Actually, you find it very, very similar to any of the older movies, but it's short. You know, it's half hour, so you can kind of get in, get out. But same, like, kind of well drawn group of cast of characters, and they're all, yeah, it's good.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll have to check it out. But no, I haven't seen it yet, and I'd like to. And I'm trying to get, you know, the girls into Star Wars. Steph and I have already got a plan for when the movie comes out. Steph's going to build. We're going to go in costume. So she wants to build an Ewok costume for Mia. She's got the pattern. She found it at the Value Village for like a few bucks. So you can make an Ewok costume, like vintage, straight from the 80s.
Those are the old ones, yeah.
Yeah, and you know,
Or you
she wants to go.
Layer it in asbestos.
maybe we'll have to do that. But no, we're doing that, and maybe make a Princess Leia or something for Lily, and just have fun. I want them to go to the Star Wars premiere. I want to go to it, and it'd be fun to dress up for a movie. I haven't dressed up to go to a movie before. I remember when Episode 1 came out, and I remember, not many people dressed up for that, the showing that I went to, but it was like the midnight showing, or the 10 o'clock showing, or whatever, the first showing they had of it. I was there, but I do remember, I think in 1997, when they re-released the movies, they had a showing, and I saw it at North Hill Theater up in the north, I guess the northwest, up by ACAD, and that was the same theater I saw Return of the Jedi when I was a kid. So it was crazy to go back, and people were dressed up, and some guys were up on top. There was a catwalk going over 16th Avenue, and some guys were dressed up like Luke and Darth Vader, and they were reenacting that climactic battle on the thing, and they kept rehearsing stuff, and everyone was trying to do Darth Maul stuff, but no one knew what they hadn't seen the movie yet, so they only could do stuff they had seen from the commercials, and it was just fun. It was a lot of fun, right?
They're not like, nobody knew that, hey, this cool new character that you're only going to actually see for 20 minutes.
Yeah. Yep, nobody knew, but you remember when that movie came out? I remember,
of course.
At
we listened to the Duel of the Fates like 7,000 times and watched the trailer over and over on.
Yep.
It was something that was just past dial-up.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, you were just being huddled around it, checking out. So I'm looking forward to a new Star Wars movie. I think it's going to be fun, and I
Well,
hope.
and if J.J. Abrams' Star Trek stuff's any indication, it should be like I felt that those Star Trek movies were more Star Wars than Star Trek by a long shot. Like they were more in that action adventure
Yeah.
vein than something that I would normally consider a Star Trek. Just a little more thinky.
Yeah, you're right. I think the thing with the new stuff is it's got to be faster paced, and that's one thing I noticed about the trailer for Star Wars. Just even the cinematography, it's way fast. Like the pace is much faster than what we had at the original stuff. If you really watch the original movies, they're pretty slow, right? And to see what even just the cuts and just the way they do some of the camera panel, the way things move around in the new movie, I think it's going to be pretty good. It's going to be fast. It's going to be different. It's still Star Wars. When they have the stupid soccer droid moving around, I'm thinking, oh, not another Jar Jar Binks type pandering to children, thing. But that sort of
Apparently
humor.
That thing's supposed to be a practical. Like that's actually a robot, like a remote control robot. That little soccer droid.
Well, have you seen Interstellar yet?
No.
Oh well, there's a robot in that apparently I don't know what to call it, but there's robots in it, and they basically look like bricks, and they're just one solid surface, but they have all these. They fold and they move and they do they're really cool. They're called. They have different names like TARS and things, and anyways. Apparently, that seems like a very far out robot design. It's something I've never seen before, but apparently it's it's practical and close to something we'll probably see for space exploration in the future, right? I mean, it makes sense to have a droid or something on a long space voyage, right?
Or you have that. Do you ever see that? What was that dumb Mars movie, Red Planet?
Is that the one with Val Kilmer?
Yeah.
Where
they had, they sent a bunch of people, but then there's this robot that's so amazing that, why wouldn't you send 6 of those? They send one robot and it freaks out and kills everybody. Send 6 of those things because they're astounding.
Uh-huh.
They can do anything. So.
Yeah, why waste a human? I think that makes the most sense. I think for future exploration of space, though, we're gonna be sending robots before we send people. I mean, why else? That just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Other than somebody's gonna want to go, because
eventually, but
not?
For the preliminary stuff, it just doesn't make sense to not send something that just the risks are so high for a human being, right? Mm-hmm. Something happened to, and the time and everything, right? You send a robot, goes, does its thing, explores space, blah blah blah, and then it comes back, or then it tells you everything's okay, or it sets up everything for you, so you can, have a place to go when you land. There's just the logistics of it just makes more sense, right? So. Anyways, that's what I'm thinking on that one. But the Interstellar is a pretty cool movie. I don't want to give anything away, but I would recommend it for sure. It was neat. They had a lot of neat stuff going on in it.
I don't know if I'll wind up seeing it in the theater. Probably not, but I will wind up seeing it. So eventually.
One thing that's tough. The tough about it is there's a lot of quantum mechanics and discussion about that, and people, time sinks and going close to black holes and all that kind of stuff, and it's very confused. I mean, I happen to know a little bit more about that subject just because I listen to radio programs that talk about these things, and I have a bit of a passing interest in it. But for someone who doesn't know much about space or quantum anything, they dumb it down enough so it's understandable, but it does get confusing. It's how come there's one point in the movie where some characters go down to a planet and they're only down on the planet for maybe 45 minutes. But by the time they get back, 23 years have passed on their ship, and you know,
relativity, sure.
yeah. So it gets a little confusing for people, and there's a lot of homages in that movie to 2001, which is kind of cool. Even though that movie was, I mean, it's dated now. To watch 2001 now is painful, but at the time it was quite the flick, I guess. I don't know. It's from your time. You probably remember it, right, Owen?
2001?
Yeah.
I'm not that old. Yeah. No,
You're not?
I have watched it.
Yeah. Yeah, I've never been able to sit through the whole movie. Yeah. I can at least say I've heard the guy's voice going, "How, blah blah blah," but that's about it.
I don't know. It's all right. Yeah. I don't know. It's slow for a horror movie. That's
yeah.
what I say. Like, because it's, you know, it's very definitely, after we see it a couple times, it's a horror movie, but it's a little slow for a horror movie.
Okay.
Anyway.
There was another horror movie we saw, like a space go to Mars horror movie with Liv Schreiber. You know, the guy who played Sabretooth in the Wolverine movie.
Yep.
Yeah, he was in it, and it's basically, you know, they go to Mars, they get some sort of zombie disease, and then everyone kills each other, and, you know, it's one of those types of movies. But it wasn't bad, you know, it was kind of interesting. There's been a lot of space movies lately, which is kind of nice, because I remember a time when that was sort of what we always watched, were space movies. They're always on TV, or there was lots of space movies. And then all of a sudden we didn't see anything from space in a long time. And now we're seeing more space stuff, so it's kind of fun.
Space stuff!
Yeah, well, there's genres that come and go, like westerns and space things. And like when the Pirates of the Caribbean movies came out, and we hadn't seen a pirate movie in years, right? Like the last one I can think of was Cutthroat Island, and everyone's trying to forget that. Just pretend it didn't happen. So, you know what I mean?
I do.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So
That's all I watched. Space stuff and like cop shows. I was recounting all of cop and detective shows.
Yeah.
All of the detective shows that I used to watch, like, you know, Magnum PI and Simon and Simon, and like
Simon and Simon. Nice. Yeah.
Starsky and Hutch, and, you know, just all these different. I used to watch them constantly. Loved them. I don't know why. I used to watch Riptide. Nobody watched Riptide.
I don't even know what that was.
Yeah, exactly. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, never heard of that one. So
it wasn't as good as Simon and Simon.
I remember Simon and Simon. I like Simon and Simon.
Yeah, well,
I used to like. Remember Sledgehammer?
Yeah,
I like Sledgehammer.
Was awesome. that only lasted like a season, though.
I know, and it ended on a cliffhanger.
Well,
if you remember the last episode, perfect. It ended on a cliffhanger. It was like, you know, there was a bomb went off or something, and then all you heard was the chief go, "Hammer," and then nothing happened. And I remember waiting like on bated breath for the next Sledgehammer episode, and it never happened. And I always felt like I was gypped. You know,
they probably knew they were going out, so that seems like what they would do for that show.
Yeah, well, it was funny. You know, what can I say? I mean, I enjoyed it, but what was I was going to talk about? So I was sitting there with the kids, and I guess you wouldn't call it babysitting, but, you know, just
parenting.
And
somebody told me that when I was working. So what, are you going to stay home and babysit? And I said, I think when it's your own kids, they call it parenting.
Yeah. So I was doing some parenting, and my eldest had gone to sleep, so it was just me and Mia, and she was, you know, watching cartoons and kind of half being awake, and I was YouTubing. I don't remember how I came across this, but it was Kevin Feige, I want to say, the president of Marvel Studios,
and he did Feige, I think.
Feige, he did an announcement regarding Marvel's release plan for the next 3 years. So we went through all the different movies they're going to be making, and I thought that was pretty cool. It was neat to see, but there's a couple of, like, are you familiar with that? Like, what shows are going to put out in the next 8 years?
Yeah, I saw the thing. I don't remember them all off the top of my head at the moment, but yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised, and so there's going to be 2 more Avenger movies, and the third one is going to be split into 2 movies.
Yeah, it's Civil War, right?
No, Civil War is the new Captain America movie.
Oh, right. Oh,
I
all
think-
right. And then it'll be,
Yeah.
whatever. Gauntlet.
Infinity Gauntlet. Infinity War, that's what it is, yeah.
Yep.
And then there's going to be a new Thor movie, Ragnarok. And then there's going to be a Black Panther movie, another Guardians of the Galaxy movie, a Doctor Strange movie. And the rumor is Benedict Cumberbatch is going to play Doctor Strange, which I think would be
That seems
suitable.
about right.
Yeah. And what was the other one? Ant-Man.
Yeah,
It's coming out.
man.
It's coming out this year. And then The Inhumans. And The Inhumans and Captain Marvel with what was the name of the female who played her? Carol Danvers. Yeah, that's who's going to be like that version of Captain.
Being the classic Captain Marvel. Sure.
Yeah, but she's going to be like. It sounds like Marvel Studios is, we've got our Doctor Strange for our interdimensional weirdness and supernatural weirdness, and then we've got our Inhumans, which is, I guess, going to be like their version of the X-Men, and then they're going to do Carol Danvers is going to be cosmic and the Earth. I don't know. I'm not really familiar with Captain Marvel's story, and
It's
you got
convoluted.
yeah, and then you're going to have the Guardians of the Galaxy, obviously, and then they're all going to intertwine, I guess. But it really sounds like they're moving away from the flagship characters that they've started on, right?
Yeah.
Like Iron Man and Captain America and Thor and that kind of thing, right?
Well, you kind of have to let them breathe, right? Like give them a break and move on to do some other things, and then you can always come back, or you can weave those characters back into the story.
Well, that seems to be the way of it, but they're not going to do another Hulk movie, at least not for the foreseeable future. The last I heard, the rumor is they're going to make a Hulk, when the Hulk's in space.
Yeah, Planet Hulk.
Yeah, they were going to do that, which I think is a bad idea. And then,
Well, that's the Planet Hulk storyline's decent, though.
yeah, I'm sure it is, but
the
it's
Planet
just,
Hulk storyline is John Carter. Like
Okay.
it's the same.
yeah. I don't know. I don't know what Disney's plan is. I mean, John Carter of Mars flopped in the theaters, so I don't think they're going to be making any more John Carter movies for now.
No, but
Which-
yeah,
So I don't see
which
the point.
wasn't that movie
wasn't that
wasn't
bad.
awful. It wasn't great, but it wasn't awful.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I don't know if you've read the John Carter series at all, but
No,
I just read Princess of Mars, and I wasn't impressed with just they did an okay job. They should have just called it John Carter of Mars. I don't know why they called it John Carter, and I don't know. It was okay.
well,
I mean,
that's
it
a
was-
marketing idiot.
yeah,
who
it was.
Didn't because I think the original script was just John Carter of Mars. Like,
Yeah. Well, that's what they bought the rights to. The book is called John Carter of or Princess of Mars,
Yeah, Princess.
right? I mean, they could have just called it Princess of Mars. Probably, if they just as soon as they put princess in, they they had the female demographic locked up. One more princess to add to the Disney princesses, So I don't know. I don't know what their plan is, but I was thinking about it. Marvel's got so many great characters, and why are they doing the Inhumans? I've never even seen an Inhumans comic book, let alone
No.
given a damn about them. Why would they make an Inhumans comic, right?
Because same reason you do a Guardians of the Galaxy. Nobody's seen it that much, and you can kind of, you can do what you want with it. If you change stuff, nobody's going to care,
Right.
except for the super hardcores, and you can't listen to them anyway because they're bonkers.
Yeah, yeah. Were you there last year at the Comic-Con when some guy came up to me and he asked me for some Groot illustration? Were you
No.
there? No, he was really kind of fidgety and a little manic, and I thought, this guy, did he take his meds today? Like, he was just really off, right? Just he was just kind of different, like...
Yeah. Well, you've
Kinda-
isolated a full 25% of the crowd.
Yeah, but the way he was talking to me is like, did you have anything tree related, anything plant related? I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like Groot, like Groot. I'm like, what? Because I didn't know who Groot was. I never read Guardians of the Galaxy, so And I'm like, sorry, man, can't help you. And he was like, oh, and he ran away. And so now I'm thinking, man, I should do a Groot illustration or something. Keep that guy happy. If he comes back to my booth next year.
Just for you.
Yeah, just for you. Hey, man, I got that Groot illustration you talked to me about. But yeah, no, you think about Marvel, they have all their great properties, like Spider-Man and Punisher. And,
yeah, but they've lost so many of the rights to all those through the years of
that's where
rights.
I was going. The movie rights are tied up with all these other ones. And so now that's why they're pulling out all these. I would qualify Inhumans and Captain Marvel as almost C or D level characters. They're not.
Right. Well, yeah. Captain Marvel's gotten better, and the
Captain Marvel's rogue now.
well, yeah. There's definitely parts of that. There's that new Miss Marvel comic I think it's doing well. I don't know. I read it. It's decent. Mm-hmm. That's all I know about it.
So, yeah, you have the subscription service, so you probably
so I've been reading all sorts of stuff. Like I've been reading Moon Knight, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
And
well, there's characters that they could bring out, like Cloak and Dagger, right? Like they're always interesting. Like there was a lot of interesting Avenger characters that they could do something with. I think they're doing another Fantastic Four movie.
Yeah, they are.
So that would be but does Sony own that one, or that's not a Marvel studio?
Yeah, somebody else is doing that.
Yeah, so that's not a Marvel Studios one.
No, that's one of those, contractually obligated to make a new movie every so often, so that they can.
Yeah.
So then they just have to.
Yeah, the Spider-Man movies weren't bad, like the new ones. I didn't mind them.
The first one I liked, and I don't know. I like that actor.
Yeah.
I like actually pretty much all those actors do a good job, but I don't know. The last one was a bit silly.
Well, I don't know. I didn't mind it. It was okay. For a Spider-Man movie, I don't know. I was trying to think of what would be some good characters that Marvel Studios could make a movie out of that wasn't,
ROM.
Like not something crappy like the Inhumans.
They gotta make a ROM.
ROM?
Yeah.
I've never heard of that.
Nobody knows ROM. It was a dumb toy that they that somebody was like, here, make a comic for our dumb toy, and they said, okay, what can we do? And it's like, well, it's got to have this, this, and this, and they went and made like one of the most epic operatic, very, I don't know, Shakespearean Beauty and the Beast story out of this stupid toy. And it ran for ages, did all kinds of cool stuff, and well, not ages, I guess. Ran for like 70 some issues plus a bunch of crossovers, and then it's gone because they don't have the rights to that dumb toy, so they can do Space Knights, but they can't do ROM anymore because it's in some weird limbo.
I never heard of ROM, but
you want to go look up something cool,
look up ROM.
Look up ROM. Read some of those.
Well, what are some other ones? Like even all their A-level heroes, I think, have been made into movies now. I would think. Like who's left out of the top books?
I don't know. They should have done more with some of the X-Men, but
yeah, but that's all owned by Sony, so I guess, or is it Sony or Fox? Fox owns the X-Men. Yeah. So they own all the X-Men. Anything related to X-Men, they own it. So
they've at least done decent work on those. So
yeah, I would like to see them, let Hugh Jackman do a crossover for the Avengers movies. Work out some kind of contract so Wolverine could help out the Avengers. That would be pretty cool.
Well, I think they were trying, and then stuff didn't work out so well with all their negotiations. Everybody wants all the money.
Yeah, I guess, but I mean, I think in the end it serves everybody's best interest, right?
Oh
In the
yeah.
end, we'll see all the properties back in Marvel's hands someday, I think, or Disney, I guess now.
Oh yeah. Eventually,
Eventually, it'll all
they'll
go back.
buy them all back.
Yeah, but like the Punisher, he's still a character they've yet to make a real killer movie with, like a good,
Well,
no pun intended.
which is incredibly stupid because
Yeah,
there's been there's
Three.
been 3,000 Punisher movies that are different, like different title, different character, but they're
Right.
just Punisher movies. Like
yeah,
they're, it's a crazy war vet vigilante. That's it.
Yeah.
You're done. That's
yeah.
they're
There's not much to a Punisher movie, really.
no, no. Yeah, he goes and he busts a bunch of criminals and
Well, I don't know. I think they could do a better one. Maybe Marvel doesn't want the Punisher, really.
Well,
Disney doesn't.
I kept saying, like, if you gave a Punisher movie to Catherine Bigelow, she would make an amazing Punisher movie.
Hmm.
I don't know who would write that. Maybe I don't know. I guess she co-writes stuff, but she would make an amazing Punisher movie.
Okay,
But
it's not meant to be. What about Daredevil?
well,
I thought the original. Am I the only one that thought it wasn't that bad of a movie?
no, I thought it wasn't that bad. I thought it was fine, and it was very Daredevil, but I think people didn't know what Daredevil was, so it was extra dark and weird and kind of, I don't know, tragic, and people.
That's
didn't
kind of
know
how
what to
his
do with
life is,
that.
though. Like that,
Yeah.
I thought they did a good job, and
Yeah.
No,
No,
I mean they could
thought
even
it
do
was
a
fine.
War Machine movie if they wanted to, right?
Oh yeah.
Now they've done
Oh
Iron Man sort of panned out, and
yeah.
yeah, well, they're done with Iron Man movies, but they could definitely do another War Machine
Mm-hmm.
based off of that, and I'm sure Don Cheadle would come back for that. I have a feeling these Avenger movies
He's good,
are.
so
Yeah,
I like
I've-
Don Cheadle in that role, even though he has nothing to do.
I thought he was good. And it was better than the other guy, Tony.
yeah.
Tony.
But a million times better.
Yeah, I forget that guy's name, but yeah, he just the way Tony. What are you doing, Tony? I don't know. The new Avenger movie is going to be great. I think the fourth one or the third and fourth ones, because it sounds like they're going to tie in all these characters together. So it's just going to be a just giant mashup with just like a real Avengers, like the Infinity War comic. Didn't that have like every character in the Marvel universe pretty much came out to fight
Oh yeah.
Thanos?
Yeah, it was everybody.
Spider-Man was on the moon and things like that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Everybody. Like that and Secret Wars. You get pretty much everybody.
Oh yeah, Secret Wars. I forgot about that. So who else do you think they could make like from the tier 1 characters they could make a movie out of?
Well, they'd probably want to capitalize on any kind of recent popularity. I was just looking this morning. I saw the new costume redesign for Spider-Woman.
Spider-Woman.
Yeah, which I haven't watched Spider-Woman and whatever, but or read, but the costume's about a bazillion times better. Her old costume's stupid, and the new one not stupid.
Really?
Yeah,
That's interesting. I never even thought of that character before. But again, that character's not really
no,
one of the main. It's not someone you think of really with Marvel, like one of their main guys.
No,
But I guess
I-
that's what I'm trying to get at. Like, what are some of the other main properties that they could make a character? Like a
yeah.
movie?
See, the ones I would want to see are not going to be main properties. Like I would like to see a Wonder Man movie, but
Really?
nobody else wants to see Wonder Man. But that's the same as like I want to see a Booster Gold from DC. nobody knows Booster Gold or wants to see Booster Gold, but
Uh-huh.
I think it could be phenomenal because you have a good messed up character. Like that's sort of this, I don't know, somebody who shouldn't be a hero.
Okay. I've never even heard of this character, so
Well, there you
Booster
go.
Gold. Yeah,
Booster
no.
Gold.
See, you're enlightening me on all kinds of stuff that I've never even heard of before. So I'm like, oh, okay. I guess I'll take your word for it. DC and me don't know each other at all. Batman. I rewatched Batman Forever the other day, and Jim Carrey just nailed the Riddler so well. He did such a great job in that. But Val Kilmer's performance as Batman is so wooden, and it's just you don't care about him at all. And he's just sort of this guy it's like he's always in some sort of a drug-induced coma, staggering through life. Like Bruce Wayne was just
You
brutal.
mean Val Kilmer?
Well, his portrayal of Bruce Wayne was really.
Or just actual Val Kilmer?
I don't know. No, Val Kilmer's done a good job in other movies.
Yeah, but he might be in a drug-induced coma.
Oh, why was he?
I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know.
yeah.
I'm speculating.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think of Val Kilmer from such great movies as Top Secret and what was it? Winnie Willow. Classics. So, anyways, so what are you working on then? Oh.
Making I don't know, like a little wizard robe thing here. It's like dark orco.
I can't see your screen for some reason.
No?
No. It's gone. Can you share it again?
I can. Okay. I was going to ask you something about
Right.
one of your favorite topics. Let's
Right.
see. Metal Gear.
Oh, yeah.
So, I've been watching a playthrough of Metal Gear 2.
Okay.
Looks like it's sending. Here, let's tap it on and off.
Not Snake's Revenge, but the actual Metal Gear 2 from back in the day.
Yeah, like Metal Gear Solid 2, Sons of Liberty.
Oh, okay. Solid 2. Okay. I thought you meant the old
No,
Famicom one.
no.
Okay.
So I watched these guys play through all of the first one, Metal Gear Solid. So, and
Well,
I've
Why? That seems like a real out of left field kind of deal. But anyway.
why exactly?
Yeah.
Well, I needed, I was watching stuff while I exercise. So it's like something to do, keep your mind off of just spinning on a stationary bike and being
Right.
bored. And they were doing a playthrough of Metal Gear Solid,
Okay.
and which I played. I played your copy,
Uh-huh.
and I liked it and thought that it was pretty good. But
Uh-huh.
I didn't. I never played 2. Well, I did. I started playing 2, but I never really got very far into it
Right.
due to all kinds of circumstances. So I watched that. It was really strangely enjoyable. Like, why would you want to watch? So their hook is that the one guy has never played any Metal Gear games.
Right.
So, and he's playing, and the other guy's played them all, and he's kind of color commentating.
Okay.
And,
Yeah,
and,
okay.
and pointing out Easter eggs and pointing out stuff and otherwise just sitting there silently and then like biting his knuckles while the other guy flails around and gets strikes every alert
Yeah. Okay.
and so I've been watching this playthrough and thinking like, should I just be playing this or? But I'm actually enjoying watching it. So is that weird? And then further to that, should I should I be wanting to play Phantom Pain? Like I didn't play 3, didn't play 4. Haven't, I played up till Big Shell in 2, like twice, and for various reasons couldn't get past that. Not anything about not liking it. I enjoyed it, but I just couldn't play past it. So should I get into Metal Gear? Is this a thing I should do, or is that, am I past it and I should just watch fools play it on the internet?
So you're asking me if I would encourage you to play Metal Gear or not? The guy who has like committed how many years of his life to illustrating that game just for fun.
But then you would also be the one who would know. It'd be like, well, I don't think you're going to get anything out of it at this point. Like I was super into Deus Ex, the last Deus Ex, which is it's kind of a similar thing. Like you're sneaking around, you're doing, other than it's all like, cyber stuff, and you've got robot arms, whatever.
Right.
So Metal Gear, basically. Yeah, I don't know. Is this something I should do? I don't know.
Well, what kind of games? Like, you like all kinds of games, Owen, so it's not like you can qualify you as to what you like and what you don't like. I've played every single one since I was a kid, so I guess I can say I'm an expert on that. They've evolved a lot over the years. The storylines can be, like, you remember in Metal Gear Solid with all the clones, it got a little convoluted, right? Sons of Liberty, it got even more kind of convoluted. And then Snake Eater was just a kind of they went back to square one and just started from scratch kind of thing. And it was a great game. The Guns of the Patriots,
That's 4.
it was, 4. The gameplay was a lot better. The graphics, everything was great, but you feel more on rails in that game, and it's more like a long movie, and you just kind of play between the cutscenes. There's a lot of stuff to do going around, but I just felt like I was on rails a lot, and there's a lot more combat because the sneaking, like your sneaking abilities are amped up a lot. Like you can hang from things and move around, and there's lots of hiding things. Like there's things you can do that like the engine has allowed you to do, but what am I trying to say? To get really good at it is hard, right? So you do trip a lot of alarms and things like that. The games on the PSP, the Metal Gear Portable Ops, it was okay. Peace Walker was a really good game. It was a lot more fun. And then I haven't played the new ones yet. And I won't even touch the one where you're Raiden, the ninja one. What is it? The one where it's just the one about Raiden. That one doesn't count.
Revengeance, yeah.
Yeah, that one doesn't even count for me. So,
I thought that was supposed to actually be pretty good. People said that's a decent game. It's an action game, though. It's not
the thing is, I guess when you're a Metal Gear person,
just hate
right?
Raiden so much, or
yeah, there's a group of us that just can't stand Raiden. He's hairy.
Well, yeah, he does seem pretty terrible. Having been watching this playthrough, he
doesn't get any better, and they bring him back in number 4, and he's terrible there too. He's just a terrible character. You just can't empathize for him. Whereas Gray Fox, you empathize for him, and they go into his backstory more in the other, like the PSP games. So those ones are canon, which is kind of nice because sometimes those PSP offshoots, they're just whatever fun games to play. Right? But these ones are actually canon. Would I recommend them? Yeah, I mean, I really like the games. They're a lot of fun. They're always kind of cutting edge for what they do. I'm at a point where playing those games, I've invested so much into them now that they're almost not that entertaining anymore. Like you can't go into it
you just have
to play the
play
game
them.
and enjoy it. Yeah, you play it because you've been following. It's like a series of books, and they release a new book every 2 or 3 years. So you got to read the next chapter and see what's happening, right?
Right.
But they're just moving the ball down the field a little bit at a time. Like nothing.
That's like the technical aspect. I've kept up with what's been going on in Metal Gear games for as long as they've been making them because they're technically impressive and they always do weird and different things. But I also played Dishonored, and I played Deus Ex, and I played Thief, and I play so I've got a lot of this the sneaking type game out of my system. It's not like I need to go and that's not the series where I would go to find that.
Well, I think it's like problem with Metal Gear is it was the first, and it's a gold standard franchise, right? And they really wrapped it all up in a nice little bow, however many games ago, and now they're kind of in a way flogging a dead horse, right? Okay. And some of the ideas that Kojima comes up with are just stupid, like Snake running around with a piece of shrapnel sticking out of his head, and the whole clones, and just some of the stuff that he does. They're out there, and it's a video game, and maybe we take it too seriously, but it's getting less and less believable, and more and more.
It didn't start out very believable, but
no, you're right. It didn't, but now it's even more. I mean, I guess the thing, look at the Resident Evil games. The first ones were the best, right? Because it was just you in a scary mansion and zombies. You didn't know what was going on, right. And it was kind of horror believable. And then now the latest ones, you're on an island or in Africa dealing with the UN on this grand scope of the virus, and it just it's not. They've lost sight of what made it.
Like I didn't have a PlayStation, so I didn't play. I played 4. But I didn't really play the other ones when they came out because I was playing games on PC. So I kind of have this different. I have a different timeline to other people, most people it seems, when it comes to what games you've played. So then I see this stuff and it's always well, I did that in this other game. I did that in Thief, or I did that in. So it's kind of strange. So I have different touchstones for what these games should be. So then I see the new Metal Gear, and it seems it's doing things from these other series, and but. Is it doing them better, or is it doing them different enough that I really want to get into it, or should I just sit on the exercise bike and watch these two fools play through these games? And
maybe you should really just try it yourself. Play Metal Gear, and then see if you like it.
Yeah, I guess.
Right? No pressure. It's not like you have to. Keep doing it.
I might play the. Yeah, I don't know. Have you done?
I mean, you have a PS3, right?
Yeah. Have you done the new whatchamacallit there? Ground Zeroes?
No.
No. Okay.
I haven't got a PS4.
Oh, okay. Because it's on PC for
just a sec.
$15 or something. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, time for me to cut this talk short. Oh.
All right, well, that works out. I gotta get ready to fly.
Yeah, it's a short one today, folks. I hope you enjoyed seeing He-Man and talk about Metal Gear. But no, we'll have another one soon. Maybe next week, even if we can. And
sure.
I'm going to stop recording now.